truly. You definitely have to meet them where they are, not where you want them to be.
Correct. Now, one of the reasons why I had the opportunity to meet you, I believe we were actually on a telesummit together where we talked about grief.
Yes.
But also, you are one of a group of women who are a part of a anthology that's about to be released called The Diary of a People Pleaser. And I recently was a part of an anthology called The Bounce Back, and it's released, and I'm pleased, and I share my grief story in that book. But tell the listeners about The Diary of a People Pleaser and why and how you became a part of that project.
Yes, and I'm loving it. I've worked with Cheryl Peavy on a couple of things on telesummits, and when she started doing this, and I thought, people pleaser, am I? Then I'd go, I can't believe you even had to ask that, Andrea. Sometimes we stay in denial a little longer than we're supposed to.
Yes.
And so, once I listened to her concept of how she was wanting it to reach people, I thought it was an opportunity because I've talked to you about people creating harmony within themselves and knowing their boundaries and being in domestic violence. A lot of the reasons that those things happen and become, problems is because we are people pleasers. And I don't want to get that mixed up with people pleasers and being a gifted servant. Because there's a difference. Mm-hmm. Because see, when you're a servant or as I said, a servant of God or wherever your spiritual piece is that you like to help people, does not mean that you forget who you are. And so when we talked about that concept, I talked about that because that was one of the hardest things I had to do in myself, and not to tell too much of my story in that piece because what I've share is I had to realize that it's okay for me to continue to help people. But I heard somebody saying, I wish I'd remember who it was, that said, we have to set boundaries because the people that are taking all the time don't have any. And I thought, that's exactly what I said.
That's profound right there.
Yes. And so when you're a people pleaser, you're constantly giving at a point that you can't function yourself and you lose yourself, and you look one time and, I said in my little piece of that is, when did my boundaries become suggestions and yours become commandments?
Yes. Yes.
And so that was why I thought, people need to understand that it's okay to be nice to people and to help people and to give, but you need to also give to yourself. And again, own who you are. And I thought that this was a great opportunity with some wonderful ladies that are telling people it's okay to own yourself and to be who you are.
I can, excuse me. I can totally relate to that. I too have came out of denial in that arena, and I am encouraging people to make sure if you are agreeing to do stuff that there's value for it for you. And value doesn't have to be monetary. It could be a fulfillment of just you love helping people, so you actually are enjoying helping someone as opposed to feeling like you're doing it out of guilt or some sense of, commitment that I can't get out of or something like that. Because too often we find ourselves using our time, as you said, and our time is, seems to be flexible for someone else. But when we need something from them, they don't have any time.
Right.
And so, in fact, they send more things our way. So making sure that you are owning your time and deciding how you use it.
Yes.
And I think also one of the things that happens is too often people feel like that's selfish, but it's actually showing self-worth.
Yes. And that in itself is the hardest thing for us to understand, especially if you're an empathetic person, because you thrive off of, and I don't mean thrive in a bad way, but you absorb the energy of people around you. And unless you understand that, and you understand how to set boundaries for yourself and how to stop continuing absorbing until there's no energy left in you, then you continue until you find yourself sick. Eventually your body's going to tell you, stop, lay down, go get in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Either you're going to have the cold, you're going to have the flu, you're going to have something. So instead of looking at it as being selfish, look at it, if nothing else, if you can't get the self-worth yet, work on self-preservation until you can get the self-worth.
You're absolutely right. And if you enjoy doing it, look at it as a way to say, I have to prepare myself and keep myself at a state that I can continue to support other people. And that means I have to take care of myself and learn how, to your point, set boundaries, because we can't be everything to everyone.
Yes. So that was the reason that I agreed to work with Cheryl, because Cheryl has really worked to get ladies together that understand the concept of no longer being a people pleaser, but still being who you are. And I've really enjoyed it.
That's awesome. I'm looking forward to getting my copy of the book and reading the different stories. It has been a wonderful journey for me to connect with many of the ladies who are part of this project. And I am encouraged by the messaging and the use that people are using the platform to help other people. And so I think that's one of the key pieces. There's a lot of different ways that you can help. And I applaud you for your efforts on these particular programs. I mean, I will share on my website as well as through the podcast about your program, and people can get in touch with you. Can you share with my listeners the best way to contact you?
Well, my email I have is Andrea@AndreaDMerriman.net, which is AndreaAtAndreaDMerriman.net. Or you can find me on social media, and at either Instagram or Facebook at Harmony Coach Andrea.
I love that, Harmony Coach Andrea. That just thinking about it, saying it makes me calm, relaxed. I appreciate that. Any last words for my listeners?
I just want to say again to you, Nina, thank you for allowing me and us to share about our people pleasers and the things that we're working on and my programs that I have. And for you listeners, I want to just understand that there is harmony, and your harmony may not look like the person next to you, but when you create it within yourself, then there's peace and happiness.
Hey, those are the best ending words I've heard in a long time. You know, to the Miss Nina B family, once again, an awesome interview with one of our shining lights celebrating greatness. I encourage you to support Miss Andrea Merriman. I'll have her contact information in the description for this podcast and on the website, because truly what she's up to is great alignment with what I always say, which is be empowered, Be encouraged. Walk boldly into your dreams because you are great. You deserve to have an harmonious life, finding balance through harmony. Your harmony, your balance may not look like anyone else's because we are all unique, but I know that we can achieve that. Thank you so much for listening and have a blessed day.